Think about it for a second. How do you market a car? Well, you talk about horsepower, fuel efficiency, safety ratings, hard data. But how do you market a movie? You can't just list its features on a spreadsheet, right? That's because marketing in the creative industries, it's not really about selling a product. It's about selling an experience. And that requires a whole different way of thinking.
All right, so let's get right to the heart of it, because it all boils down to this one powerful idea. Marketing, at its core, is about communicating value. But in the creative world, value isn't just a price tag. No way. It's that feeling you get from a song that just perfectly captures your mood. It's the connection you feel to a character in a film. It's personal, it's emotional, and it is absolutely the key to understanding how all of this works.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to totally redefine what value even means here. Then we'll dig into why creative products are just a unique kind of beast. After that, we'll see how the whole creation process has shifted from a simple line to a complex web. And finally, we'll uncover what marketing's most important job is in this whole ecosystem. All right, first up, to really get a grip on creative marketing, we have to put value under a microscope. Because in this world, believe me, it is so much more than what's on the price tag. And that leads us straight to this big idea, perceived value. See, value isn't some objective fact written in stone. It's a calculation that happens inside every consumer's head. It's this constant trade-off, a balancing act between what they feel like they're getting versus what they have to give up to get it. And this lays out that mental trade-off perfectly. On one side of the scale, you've got the gets, all the benefits. That could be the incredible quality of the animation, the cool factor of the band, or just the fact that it perfectly matches your personal taste. But on the other side, you've got the gives, the sacrifices. And we're not just talking about money. We're talking non-monetary costs, like your time, your energy. Is that concert really worth the 2-hour drive and the hassle of parking? That's a value calculation happening in real time. But we can break it down even further. Turns out, we're looking for different kinds of value. For example, a hammer has functional value. It does a job, plain and simple. But a movie? Oh, that's a whole different story. That's about emotional value, the kind that makes you laugh or cry. It's about social value, being able to talk about it with your friends. Or maybe even epistemic value, like a documentary that totally blows your mind and teaches you something new. This is the world creative marketing lives in. So now that we have this new way of looking at value, let's explore what makes creative products so fundamentally different. Because let's be honest, selling a song is a completely different ballgame than selling a smartphone. And this is the key contrast. With a phone, we use objective parameters. You can literally say one is better than another, more battery life, faster processor. We call that vertical differentiation. It's a ladder. But with art, it's all about subjective taste. A punk rock song isn't better than a classical symphony, it's just different. That's horizontal differentiation. It's not a ladder, it's a landscape. This leads us to a really crucial idea from economics. Creative products are what we call experience goods. Think about it. You can't know the true value of a book until you've actually read it, or a play until you've seen it. The value is totally locked away until the moment you consume it. You're buying a promise. So this creates a huge challenge for marketers, right? If people can't know the value beforehand, how do you convince them to even give it a shot? Well, you have to rely on signals and shortcuts. You use what are called quality cues, like great reviews, buzz on social media, or even just incredible poster art. You offer product trials. Think movie trailers, a free first chapter of a book, or a 30-second song preview. And you lean heavily on reputation. The name of a famous director or a beloved band acts as a promise of quality before you spend a dime. Now, to really understand the scale of this challenge, let me ask you a question. Just take a wild guess. How many brand new, unique book titles were sold in the United States in a single year, let's say 2010? The answer is pretty staggering. Over 328,000. And listen, that's just books in one country over a decade ago. Now try to imagine every movie, every song, every TV show, and every video game released across the entire globe just this year. This mind-boggling amount of choice has a huge effect. The market doesn't just get crowded, it becomes hyper-fragmented. It shatters into a million little pieces. The competition for a consumer's limited time, money, and attention isn't just fierce, it is absolutely astronomical. Okay, let's move on, because this complexity isn't just on the consumer side of things. The way creative value actually gets made is also fundamentally different from how we make, say, a toaster.
Think about a traditional factory. It runs on what we call a value chain. It's a clean, linear, step-by-step process. A supplier gives raw materials to a producer who makes a thing. A distributor gets it to the store, and a user buys it. Every role is separate and clear.
But the creative industries, they just don't work like that. They operate in a value network. It's this messy, non-linear process where all the roles get blurred. The songwriter might also be the producer. The artist might direct their own music video. Value isn't created in neat little steps. It's co-created all at once by this whole web of different people. And this is such a critical insight. Who actually creates the value of a hit song? Is it the singer, the producer, the person who wrote the lyrics, the sound engineer? The answer is all of them. And here's the kicker. The audience plays a role too, by listening, interpreting the song, sharing it, and giving it meaning in their own lives. Value creation is a team sport. So in this crazy world of subjective taste, experience goods, and complex networks, what is the most important role marketing can possibly play? Well, it all comes down to adopting the right perspective, the right philosophy. And this brings us to a huge fork in the road for any creative company. There are two competing mindsets. On one side, you've got product orientation. The goal here is to make a product of excellent intrinsic quality judged by experts. The belief is basically, if we build it, they will come. The risk, of course, is that what the experts love and what the audience loves aren't the same thing. On the other side is market orientation. Here, the number one goal is customer satisfaction. The core belief is that value is ultimately defined by the customer, not the creator. And here it is, the key takeaway from all of this. To succeed in the creative industries, you have to have a market-oriented culture. Marketing's most vital job is to be the voice of the customer inside the building, making sure that the entire network, from the artist all the way to the sound engineer, is working together to create something that the audience will genuinely, truly value. Which leaves us with one final thought to chew on. In a world that is just overflowing with songs, movies, and books, what's the real challenge for creators and marketers today? Is it just making the art? Or is it doing the hard work to make sure that art actually matters to someone?